My name is Maria G. Perez, and this is my EDUC 522 unit plan presentation. My unit is based on El Día de los Muertos, and it has been designed for implementation in a 9th grade classroom in the state of California. My unit is designed to last 3 weeks, and it is comprised of many individual activities that include art, music, and other projects. This unit introduces concepts such as traditions in other cultures, what those traditions mean, where they come from, how they are performed, and how they have carried on throughout the years. We will also cover the impact that those traditions have on today's societies. This unit was designed based on the California state standards, cognition, and the effective use of technology. Not only is this unit designed to meet the requirements of the California state standards, but it also incorporates a variety of concepts, making it a cross-curricular unit. These standards include social science, language arts, reading, writing, math, music, visual art, science, drama, speaking, listening, oral communication, and technology standards created by the International Society for Technology and Education. What is cognition? It is formally defined as remembering, producing, and understanding, solving problems, and making decisions. In order to effectively integrate cognition into the foundation of my unit plan, I continually refer to Bloom's taxonomy and Howard Gardner's theory of multiple intelligences. Lastly, I integrated a variety of technology-based lessons and activities and touch on the technological learning's abilities that all of our students possess. This video is a perfect example of how digital video technology is used throughout the unit to engage the students and encourage active participation in learning. By integrating standards, cognition, and technology, the students will be presented with a unique opportunity to learn in a variety of ways, as well as experience education as an individualized program where their learning abilities and opportunities are maximized.
The indigenous people of Mexico believe that souls are eternal. For them, the souls of the dead may cross back and forth between this world and the next. On the Day of the Dead, which every year is celebrated on November 1st and 2nd, it is believed that these souls come to visit their living relatives. Special offerings are made on this day to welcome these souls. Michoacán is located at the center of Mexico, approximately 4 hours drive northwest from Mexico City. The state has impressive mountains, lush landscapes, fertile valleys, and a large lake at its center called Pátzcuaro. Pátzcuaro is also the name of the region surrounding the lake and the name of its largest town. The greater part of the Pátzcuaro Lake population are descendants of the Purépecha tribe. The vast Purépecha Empire, which thrived from 1100 AD till 1530 AD, stood strong against the powerful Aztecs and maintained its independence. Both kingdoms lost their strength with the arrival of the Spanish conquistadors in the 16th century. Pre-Hispanic, Catholic, and colonial influences are evident in the local folklore. They can also be seen in the artwork decorating churches, and even in images of Jesus, which appear to have either European or indigenous features.
As I developed this unit, I focus on the cognitive domain of Bloom's taxonomy. The cognitive domain involves knowledge and the development of intellectual skills. This includes the recall or recognition of specific facts and procedural patterns and concepts that serve in the development of intellectual abilities and skills. There are 6 specific levels of Bloom's taxonomy. The first level is knowledge. This level requires the students to recall data and information. An example of how I address this level of cognition during this unit is during an activity where the students are required to repeat key vocabulary words and phrases related to El Día de los Muertos, as those were presented to them in an interactive PowerPoint. The second level of Bloom's is comprehension. This level requires the students to understand the meaning of a problem and be able to state it in their own words. An example of how I address this state of cognition during the unit is through a pop quiz assignment that students are to complete online about El Día de los Muertos video that they had just watched in class. The quiz asks for the students to interpret, summarize, and respond to it in their own words. After, the students were asked to summarize and rephrase 3 new things that they learned throughout the lesson. The third level of Bloom's is application. This level requires the students to use the concept in a new situation. An example of how this level of cognition is addressed in the unit is when the students are asked to participate in a whole class discussion of poetry and verse writing. The activity of verse writing is an accumulative assessment as well as a way for the students to review what they know. The fourth level of Bloom's is analysis. This level requires the students to distinguish between facts and traditions. An example of how this level of cognition is addressed in the unit is when the students are asked to research online the different reasons why this tradition came about. The students are asked to analyze and give their opinion on why and how these traditions are good choices and how they affect their everyday life, what their motives were. The fifth level of Bloom's is synthesis. This level requires the students to put parts together to form a whole with emphasis on the meaning of this new structure. An example of how this level is addressed in the unit is when the students are asked to create a calavera to remember their loved one, using art, color, music, and any other form of communication they wish to express. The sixth level of Bloom's taxonomy is evaluation. This level requires the students to make judgments about the values of ideas and materials. An example of how this level of cognition is addressed in the unit is through an accumulative assignment where the students are asked to create a 5-minute presentation about El Día de los Muertos. The students will be divided into groups to complete the project. They will have to compile a series of information that represents the customs and traditions and will have to assess the information they have learned in order to accurately relate their presentation to the lesson content. Dr. Howard Gardner, a psychologist and professor of neuroscience from Harvard University, developed the theory of multiple intelligences in 1983. The theory challenged traditional beliefs in the field of education and cognitive science. It provided an alternative learning theory. Gardner's 8 intelligences are verbal linguistic, bodily kinesthetic, musical, intrapersonal, interpersonal, visual, naturalistic, and logical mathematical. Please note how the following video touches on all the intelligences.
¿Qué es esto?
Pan de muerto.
Y es especialmente para
El Día de Muertos, sí, para adornar el altar. Y este es el difuntito más o menos, la forma de cuerpo.
Ah, esto es cuerpo.
Un muerto.
Un muerto.
Cuerpo.
Aquí está la cabeza y
Ajá, el cuerpo, las manitas.
Ajá.
Es una pequeña calavera, cuerpecito de un muerto, por eso se le llama flor de muerto, orquídea.
¿Y así ya cuántos años? Grande. Con una sopa de arroz.
Meanwhile, Humberto has to make more masks so his father can sell them in the market. In pre-Hispanic times, the Aztecs used masks in their religious ceremonies. With the arrival of the Spanish, Catholic elements were incorporated into mask making.
Sí, pues lo que voy a hacer va a ser un rostro de un demonio y con 4 serpientes. Se puede apreciar, es un trozo y el trabajo es de una sola pieza. Va a quedar de una sola pieza excepto los cuernos. Colores alegres, amarillo, del arco iris y los rojos de la sangre de los pecadores que el diablo se los lleva por malos.
In the afternoon, Ana Maria and Laura go to the nearby fields to cut flowers for their altar. In order to get the traditional cempasúchil, they have to go to Don Miguel, their neighbor.
The video will implement throughout the unit in a variety of ways to meet the learning needs and preferences of all the learners. The visual learners will enjoy viewing the video. The intrapersonal learners will enjoy writing a reflection of what it meant to them. The musical and bodily kinesthetic learners will enjoy choreographing the viejitos dance to represent the main character's emotions and feelings. The interpersonal learners will enjoy performing the dance in front of their classmates. The verbal linguistic will enjoy discussing the video as a whole class as well as talking with their neighbor about how the video made them feel. The logical mathematical learner will enjoy participating in an activity where they track the states and cities where the celebration has moved to on Google Maps. Lastly, the naturalistic learner will enjoy creating a list of items and artifacts to make the altar. El Día de los Muertos will conclude with an accumulative event known to the students as creating an altar. Each student will be responsible for bringing a picture of their loved one that has passed away and or food or any other items that mean something to them. The students will also enjoy creating the altar with all the objects that they brought, including their favorite dishes of food. The students will create the beautiful altar to honor the loved ones that have passed away. They will also enjoy bringing pictures, food, and other food items to honor their loved ones. I hope that I have shown you that by integrating cognition, standards, and technology in your classroom, your students will be transported to a world full of life, learn experiences where learning is fun and useful. I thank you and I hope you have enjoyed this video.